to this. There we go. There it is. Yay. Perfect. Okay, so hello. We are now beginning Dream and Create. Do, 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 do. Um, so I want to just like first start by grounding everybody in to the idea of what dreaming and creating is. I would love for everyone to just take a nice deep breath in and exhale out the mouth, maybe even connecting a hand to your heart, and take another deep breath in and exhale out. And just give yourself a little body scan here, noticing how your shoulders feel. Imagine if you can sit up a little bit taller, or at least allow your shoulders to like kind of relax down towards the earth so they're not like hunched in, and you feel like your heart is opening instead of being closed, right? Because we're connecting to the heart. We want to have our heart open. So continuing to connect to the heart for a few more breaths. And just allowing yourself to be fully present in the moment. Whether you're sitting, you're standing, walking, or doing something, allow your feet to connect to the ground. Notice how your belly feels. If you can loosen your belly and take up space. Breathing in the nose through your nostrils. Just said that twice. And feeling the air come in and refresh your whole system. And then exhaling out, releasing anything, bringing in relief. When you're ready, I invite you to just kind of wiggle yourself. Just feel yourself here. Maybe just wiggling the fingers, the toes, maybe taking a nice big stretch overhead. We have arrived. So when you're ready, open your eyes if you haven't already. Yay. We are here. And if you have not met me yet, I know you have, sweet Jeffrey. My name is Gabby. I also go by Gabriella, and I created and am the creator of Creative Nest. I just said creative so many times, but it's perfect because I like creativity. I love art. And that was actually really cool because I am here staring at this like intuitive painting sort of thing that I did last night with my roommate and my partner. And we all kind of got together and, just like kind of sat with our physical bodies, emotional bodies, mental, and just energetic spaces, and just went into, like what colors and shapes and feelings were in all of them. And I was just like feeling while we were breathing just there, this feeling of like almost like the need to like literally like this card pull out old stuff that isn't ours to carry anymore. Like we're not supposed to hang on to it. But in order to even see that stuff, right, we have to be able to actually connect to ourselves so then we can let go and shake it up. Um, I am going to share my screen just so I can kind of give a little bit of a quick intro on what this is and what to expect with class, and just kind of what I share in general, because like pretty much all of this applies to like everything that I do. As I've noticed, I've been learning a lot about that. Pretty interesting. Um, so we're gonna go to sharing Acrobat Reader. And I appreciate you bearing with me, because I love it. I love that we're on here. So really the first thing I would love to ask everyone is to type in the chat after you felt it. What does it mean to dream and what does it mean to create to you? And this might even be something that you think of as a journal prompt for later. So, what does it mean to dream and what does it mean to create for you? And try to allow yourself to just write down and express the things that come up right away without thinking too much, right? And I'm trying to see how I can share. See the chat box here. This is an interesting thing. I'm still learning how to use Zoom a little bit, but it's alright. Stop sharing for now. And if you want to share aloud, you can. Um, but for me, the word and the idea to dream means um, to have a vision, and it means not only to have it, but to be able to receive that vision, to hold it and to nurture it into existence. That's what to dream to me means. And to create literally just means a form of freedom. So if I combine all those things, why I'm holding this space right now, why I'm even choosing to do what I do, is because I really want to see others that resonate with this be able to carry through their visions in a way that feels like freedom for them. Um, Creativity is a wellspring that's into infinite, and for us to always be able to access that, I mean, that's one of the most valuable things. And this isn't something that you have to go outside of yourself for. It is always there, right? Like thinking about the times that we're inspired by something, anything, like where you have like an epiphany or like, um, like I don't know, you just think of like a bagel spot that you want to go to that tastes really delicious and you have a really good coffee or tea or something. And all of a sudden, just the idea itself of um whatever may have just flown into you or been presented to you is better than having a cup of coffee itself or, whatever it is that you do to wake yourself up. Um, and that's why I want to do this because I want us to remember that we have our own energizers, right? And anytime that we feel like we're falling ill or like we're um, just feeling really low and maybe in our like lower, emotions, um, because life happens, right? And when no one is, you know, no one can escape emotions, right? They're gonna take us everywhere. But our ability to um, notice and acknowledge, okay, they're there, and I get to create my next steps in reality. So that said, I'm gonna continue sharing the screen. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so the next one, a little bit about me. A few, a few of you guys definitely know me. I've known you guys for a little while now, but I am a cinematographer, artist, photographer, painter, dance, and tantra facilitator, um, yoga teacher, all kinds of different things. And I created Creative Nest. I'm currently working on a whole bunch of different projects, but this sort of creative nest and sense of helping other people dream and create together is one of my um most like heart connected projects. Also, yeah, Sweet Jeffrey, what's up? Feel free to unmute.
So you asked the question, what does create? So you asked the question,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, I think since the last career co-creation thing I did with you and everyone else, it's just creating what's on my mind. Like, but also like realizing, okay, I can do this at another day. Like basically creating like what's really for me because before that photo shoot I did a couple days ago with the recent Sweet Jeffrey post, I was kind of like I was gonna do like a recreation of like this that famous pic of me and Santa,
Mm-hmm.
where we're just like me like I'm an adult and it's Santa Claus and it's like a reference and it's called Christmas in Hicksville. But then this one was gonna be Christmas in Hicksville, but Hicksville strike through. And
Mm-hmm.
then midway I was like, what am I doing? Why am
Mm-hmm.
I doing it? Why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like that dream that photos I took with you at the temple, that was my hey, I'm done with this. Like I'm gonna live with my two communities now. Now it's just me. Why am I relapsing back to this? And that was when like I was like paying tribute to both communities in that photo shoot. Like, like I mentioned, like I how the cancers who carried me to like this new part of my to the second half of
Mm-hmm.
2024. Like it's one of those things. So it was also like now realizing also to take the ego out of it. Like because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, like my creativity was fueled on anger and
Right.
resentment, but then and then that's why it took and then like as I wear the labradorite and citrine, it's like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Yep.
If I just take the ego out of this, it's a lot more fun. Like it's
Yes.
one of those and that's why it was like that's why that reminder came to me to say,
Wow.
Jeffrey, hey, like if you're serious about this, if you're really about you're moving on,
Mm-hmm.
that her mother would have not shown.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would not be talking about this. You would not be having these conversations. It's basically the retro saying, Jeffrey,
Yep.
if you want to move on from this,
Mm-hmm.
the more you move on to this, you'll never be reminded. But
Mm-hmm.
not to say you don't have to like think
Right.
about this, but it's like be at a point where it's like it's not fueling it's not
Mm-hmm.
fueling your creativity, it's not fueling your drive. It's more like, dude, if you're gonna create, co-create with Gabby, everyone else, and everyone else that has helped you grow. Do not create out of the past. If you have
Beautiful.
to rewire certain things, so be it. But
Beautiful.
just take the just take her out of it. Take
Yeah.
all the like things out of it. So
Wow.
I, I think that's
Wow.
the realization of creating. Like
Wow.
if you're gonna do it, make sure your heart's in the right place and create what's on your mind. Because also that's what I learned from you, like the emotions. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this is like when I was like, setting up the photo shoot, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like this
Right.
is like
Yeah.
I love and like it's one of those and like yeah, it's really fun and I love it. And I also want to do some really more like reflective thought reflective ones. But I was like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Let this photo shoot sink in for a while, and
Yep.
then also surprise them. Like be like,
Yes.
oh, he hasn't posted in weeks. All right. weeks go by, and then boom, new
Boom.
one. Like, oh, this is a new one. But oh, but
Yes.
oh, but also like with, and I know I'm going on a tangent with this, but it's like
All good.
one like since working with you, it's like and like working with other water signs, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, his art is more, oh, Sweet Jeffrey's serious. Like the one with the Trump thing, like
Mhm.
with the bat, and you're like the bat, the hat, and like the
Yeah, yeah,
skull.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, oh,
Mhm.
Jeffrey's dressed in this. Oh, okay,
Absolutely.
sure. Oh, Jeffrey has that bat. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, another photo shoot. Oh, White
Yep.
Snake around Jeffrey's. Like, oh, Jeffrey's up in the ante. Oh, okay. Oh wait, Sweet Jeffrey with the devil mask. Oh, okay. We're heading towards a new era now. Like it's
Yeah, right.
basic like it's basically making it clear like, oh, this is now the real Sweet Jeffrey now. Like this
Yes.
is like the, oh, he's really embracing this now.
Mhm.
There's nothing stopping. So
Yeah.
yeah, just creating to me is like what fuels you. And for years, it was anger and resentment. But
Mm.
now it's just like, okay, what makes me laugh and what's on my mind? Like, what do I want to write about it? How
I
to get it to be.
love that. I love that so much because also like when I hear your voice expressing, the change, right, in intention, for where your creativity is coming from, where you are choosing to draw your creativity from. It's coming from a much lighter place. It's coming from a much more like curious, playful. Like I hear it in your voice. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get playful. Like this is what's happening. So I'm really proud of you. And like every single day is gonna bring a new aspect out. And yeah, I just really appreciate your openness, your vulnerability, and thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, if we're ready, I'm gonna go on and just get us closer to that meditation. And I am recording, so I'm just if there's any parts that like you don't want to have, included, you can just message me um afterwards. But let me get back to sharing the screen.
You
Ta-da!
don't have to sign anything like
Sweet.
it's like I said, I didn't mention no names. It's just
Appreciate
like
it.
it's basically like I'm at a point where it's like, listen,
Yep.
I have to address this and just look. Now I got to find my feel somewhere else. And
Yep.
hey, it's not with the past. It's not with the present for a better
Yep.
future.
This is so funny too because you actually got into sharing what is creativity for like basically like that and it's funny because I hadn't even opened up to this screen yet and you're like, "Yo, let's do that." And I feel like what you just shared is actually really profound because a lot more of us create from places of pain, um grief, anger, resentment for a long period of time. And even though you can create really, really beautiful, incredible pieces from processing and transmuting those things, the next level comes from when you like create from joy, when you create from curiosity, when you just allow your ideas and your mind to just flow like a river. Um, that's like pure freedom right there. That's what I think anyway. Obviously like I think it's a natural part of life that some creativity has to come from pain. Some of it does, but it doesn't always have to stay that way. I remember like times that like um I had gone through like a really intense time and I made some of my best artwork. But that was only because it was one of the first times I went deeply into myself and like deeply studied um who I was, what I wanted, what I saw in my mind, and then translated that into something, right? It's almost like these moments of grief or moments of wake up they can allow us to open the doors initially. And it's kind of like I called it the other day like ripping a scab off, which is kind of gross, but like but the skin underneath the scab is already healed if you think about it, you know, like and it just needs to fall off. So I really appreciate that, and this just kind of ended up aligning this way, and I love that. Um, and I would love for anybody else who ends up watching this later to please, you know, consider what creativity is for you right now because it's always going to change, you know, from day to day. It's really wild. We have to allow ourselves to shift and change. So I am moving to the next page. Ah, here we go. Ah, yes. And so it's funny because like you also just shared all of this too. But I want to allow, I'll probably send anybody who signed up to do this class, this actual PDF. So that way, you know, if you have any notes and stuff that you want to do or journal prompts, you can actually have access to this. So you can like go through things at your own pace. But basically, as of this moment, right? Um, you know, if there's any stories that are attached to the idea of creativity, you can write anything that comes up. And I actually suggest writing it as like a bullet point list. Like, don't try to rationalize it, whatever it is. It could be a visual, it can be even like anger, or it could be joy, it could be curiosity, it could be play. It could even be a color or a feeling that your body feels when you feel really creative, you know? And I just want to allow space for us to like really breathe in to, especially to like what Sweet Jeffrey just shared, because so many of us might actually resonate with our own version of where you're coming from, you know? Um, yeah, so let's just allow that to be just for a moment. I'm going to invite for everyone to please close down the eyes if you're in a safe space to do so, or just allow yourself to gaze softly into a space that feels like it is nurturing for you right now. And just allow your heart to feel and ask it that question. And this I'll ask for you to just keep, you know, in your own journal, allow this to be its own thing. You do not have to share it here. You can share it with me later or somebody else that was in the chat or a friend. Bring it up, share it. And when you close your eyes down, I invite you to connect to your heart, right? We're gonna almost like create a recreation of our initial body scan. So noticing where maybe your jaw might feel tense, maybe you feel your temples a little tight. Maybe see if you can loosen those spaces up. Notice how your neck and shoulders feel. Notice if you're trying to tense your belly up or your ribs. Notice if your back is still in fight or flight mode and see if you can just like relax it a little and allow your hips to open and not clench together. But notice if all of these spaces want to stay the way that they were, right? And if you can just breathe into your whole body, I want you to notice if there's anything that comes up in there. And with every breath, I would like you to just invite a really cleansing breath. So imagining like a golden white light coming through your whole body and allowing for all of those stories, whether it's now or later, to start to be unlocked and allow them to flow all the way down out at the bottom of the feet and back into the earth to be composted. Just inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. And we're gonna imagine this light like being like a really quick wash. Like imagine like, you're you're in front of a camera and someone puts like a flash on and it's just like and it's gone, right? We want to work with this idea of things being able to just only because sometimes that's how things do happen. And then we immediately want to go back into our comfort zones. So, what if we can connect to that feeling of feeling open and clear now? And so, I want to invite you to take another deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out with a shake out the shoulders. And then start to blink the eyes back open. Woohoo! So everybody's there. Gonna open up the acrobat radar for one more moment. So once you're back, so noticing your body with your eyes open, right? What if the idea of creativity is freedom for you? So imagining like, right, like you feel this like flash or like idea of like a big golden light just coming and be like, wipe all the heavy stuff out, gone. What does your body feel? What does it imagine? I know in my body, things immediately feel much lighter. I feel like I can be taller. Like I'm not even kidding you. Earlier, I was feeling sick today. Like I was not feeling good. And I think it was really just my body just feeling really stressed out. Um, from just a whole bunch of different things happening. And all of a sudden, I got into a creative space. I took 10 minutes, I danced. I feel so much better. My body is here. I'm here in the present, right? And I feel like I could be here and hold the space, you know? How does that feel in your body? Even if it's just one word, you can write this down or just notice it. That's it. Okay. We're going to move on. So now we're going to go back into a little bit of a visualization. So Jeffrey, I know you remember this part at some point. We've done it in our own ways and in multiple different spaces. We're going to close our eyes again, if that feels right. And we are going to tune into the heart again. Right? And you see this girl here, she's like floating above all these people who are kind of like stumps and like they're rocks like in a place, right? And she is so connected to the sky. So I want you to imagine connecting to your heart, right? And now feeling this freedom in your body. And I would love for you to, with your breath, start to connect with who you see, right? When you imagine yourself floating or flying or just feeling light like a feather. You might even imagine yourself floating lightly over a river, It's nice and calm. How does your heart look? How does your body look? What's your facial expression? What are you wearing? Continue breathing into this space. How is your hair? Are there any smells or tastes? And is there anything that you see in your environment while you're floating? Could be clouds or colors or stars, a forest, water, some really creative scene that I don't even know how to verbalize, but you do. I want you to take a nice deep breath in, place your feet on the ground here, but keep allowing your heart to soar. Feeling your heart open nice and wide. And it's funny that how when we feel really grounded, it actually can feel like we're much lighter than we actually are. Take a nice deep breath in, breathing all the way up into the heart space, through the throat, all the way to the third eye, at the top of your head. Hold that for a moment. See if you can allow this feeling of floating, of lightness to be there for a moment. And then when your body needs to breathe in and lower you down, ground you back into your body, breathe out. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. So at this point, take as long as you need to come back into the room. If you'd like to keep your eyes closed for a moment, you may. Just continue to visualize. But I'd like to invite you to take a few moments to write down who you saw, um, the environment that you were in, any other details, how you felt, maybe if there was a smell or taste, maybe even details as much as what you were wearing. And if there was anybody with you, I forgot that one, darn, but it's okay. um, yeah, just take a moment to write that down. And if you'd like to share anything, just type it in the chat, or you can always share later. Beautiful. I'm gonna give you until about 8:12. Open this back up. So what's up? Remember to hydrate, guys, as much as you can. It's funny that we pulled this card earlier too, because it's almost like all these different parts are learning how to fly. We're leaving the heaviness behind. So this is your time to leave it all behind, to let it be what it is. It's not to abandon any of the past, but it's to put less weight and importance on the past at this moment. I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds. It's 8:12, but my timer says 30 seconds, so it's okay. Anything else that you might need to write down or feel? All right. So we're going to close that space. You can always go back to your writing later. Um, and this is what I love about having timers is we embrace imperfection and we allow perfectionism to rest. And it's a really great way of getting what's going on in the subconscious mind out. When we allow a little bit too much time to think, then that's when our analytical mind can take over, and we really want to access the subconscious mind here. Yep. Okay, so archetypes. I know, Sweet Jeffrey, we know what archetypes are. I'm going to send all of you guys again the PDF of what this is. But basically, long story short, an archetype is a typical example of a person, thing, or idea that is like, I don't know, it just like makes sense, right? Like it's think of like, I don't know, there's like a Bob Ross or like a Kali or like even like think of like Shrek. Shrek is an archetype, right? Um, even your highest self is an archetype, your shadow is. There's multiple sub versions of that. And just like thinking of yourself as like a king or a queen, um, or like the lover, and or like the hermit, those are all different types of archetypes, and all of these are inherited from our ancestors and human collective unconscious. However, okay, yeah, these are all pre-existing archetypes, and I want to put out there again and remind everybody that archetypes are infinite. You can be your own archetype. Like Sweet Jeffrey, I swear, like you have really created like such like this really incredible like groundedness in yourself, and you keep on expanding that. And Um, I feel like every day who we show up as changes. And so at this point, um, I want for us to be able to actually create and go a little bit deeper into who we are showing up as today, right? Not yesterday, not last week, not a month ago, not even 2 years ago, today. Because that's a totally different person. That person always changes. You might relate to every other version of yourself, right? Because time is nonlinear, but we are different today. So, this is why I asked you to feel into what you noticed that you looked like when you were floating in this space of freedom, because that is where you're going to start to generate your own archetype, your own most creative self, right? And you can close your eyes for another moment here, or even just pause this, or just visit um, this slide in the PDF and just take a moment to really like meditate and soak in this idea of who you are when you're in freedom, when you're in that creative freedom, right? I know for myself, I felt limitless. I felt infinite. I felt like, oh my gosh, like if there's any stressors in my life, like whether I had to like let go of a ton of stuff, like physical or idea wise, all of that is okay because there is so much more that is being created from this point. And at this point, like we can use this vision, right, of who we see ourselves as now to step into our creative power today, to step into it now. um, rather than connecting to the version of ourselves from yesterday. We really want to keep living in the present moment. Even though, yes, you can acknowledge like who you were yesterday. That's totally perfect and wonderful. Like, we want to do that. It's a good thing. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so we're gonna create your archetype, right? So we just visualized we were feeling in this freedom space right now at the moment. It's so cool because it's 8:18 p.m. and that is like a number of like abundance. And I love seeing that. So at this point, we're embracing the alchemist that we are. You can stand, you can sit, anything that feels really good. We're going to visualize the archetype that we are about to step into and dance with. So this is the actual fun part instead of so much talking and stuff. Um so I actually really I don't know why I feel really called today to share like a little mudra that I really like to use when meditating. Um and it's actually like a more of like a feminine kind of mudra that um it connects to the idea of the womb space and really I'll share more on this once we hop off and actually share like the history of it and where it goes to in the body. But basically, everybody has a womb. It doesn't matter what gender orientation you are. That just might mean that you might have an energetic womb or an emotional womb instead of a physical womb. And this is because your sacral center is your creative um, soil where your seeds get planted. And then you have the ability to grow and create them from that point. It's just that we all do it differently. So from here, I'm actually just going to stand up and show you the mudra. So you take your two thumbs together and then you take your hands almost like you're going to go together like so. And then you wrap, interlace the four or three back fingers, right? Pinky, ring, and middle finger. Oh, excuse me. My goodness. My throat is like, woo! It is really firing up right now. Gonna have some water. Okay, so where we just were, I'm gonna have your fingers kind of like that, but you're gonna open up your palms just so you see this little shape. You can hold it in front of your sacral center. You can also let your hands rest on your thighs, right? And we're gonna stand or sit and just allow the space to be, right? And allow that version of your archetype to come through you, right? They might have a name, they might have somebody that they want to be called. Um, they might have a different profession where, like they might have something that they want to do or bring you today. And as we begin today's archetype dance, we're really going to breathe into that space as we allow ourselves to walk closer and closer to that most creative version of ourselves. Right? So, what I'm gonna do now, as you're breathing into that space, holding that mudra, you can rest any time that you need. But see, from here, we're gonna start the playlist. So let me get audio sharing going. Advanced audio. And then just please let me know if you cannot hear my voice properly. I will adjust as needed. So here we go. So connecting with your I'm gonna start to connect to your heartbeat, right? And whether you're sitting, you're laying down, or you're standing. Start to shift your hips. You're laying down. As best you can. You can do this well. Not do that. eventually you'll think about it, go and higher self, creative self, whatever that looks like, bring that energy as they bring forth them. Allow them to hug you and I actually take your arm and hug you, hold you into the nose, out the mouth, in the nose, and out the mouth. Just brushing the shoulders down. Maybe even place your hands crossing the wrists and just place them over the top of both shoulders. It's actually like an Egyptian way of opening the heart. It's an ancient practice, kind of like their own. Like here, this is my shield, but I open my heart to the divine, right? I open my heart to what needs to be. Just feel all of the things coming into your body, allowing your cells to take in your own medicine. You might ask yourself, who am I now? What does that mean? How your body breathing deeply. And when you're ready, I invite you to release your hands to your sides again. And we're going to take a connection to seeing the shadow version behind our most creative self or whoever that may be that you're showing up as today. As I said earlier, what I mean by shadow version, right? What I mean by connecting to your shadow, right? Is really all the things that come up when you say, I want to do this. This is what I want. And your heart is like, wow, oh my God, I feel really free. And there, that shadow is all of these little niggly little things that feel like sticky. That like you're walking through like really funky mud, right? Breathe that in for a moment. We're going to allow ourselves, right? Now that we have connected, our most grateful, we have to acknowledge the positive things. So I'm going to invite you again, open your palms, facing forward. Allow yourself to breathe in and out. Maybe you'll rotate right and left. Find stillness. And all of these buffalo spirits, imagine them falling and pulling from behind you. You might feel these things on your back and your legs, your feet. And I want to invite for you, we're going to use the same idea of walking, right? And allow yourself right? I'm gonna do 20. I walk down to the water's edge. Just kidding. I want acceptance. Acceptance is a good one. It's the name of the song that I'm playing here. Wow. As little judgment as possible. Whatever is possible. So if you're able and still walking and able to walk around, so we're gonna notice how we walk. Imagining that walking around the room, then earlier, walking right and left. Hold yourself while you go through it. Noticing how your body yes. Notice if you want to run away. You want to push away. Notice if there's any feelings, spaces in your body that know that you have already connected. I want to invite you to listen. With all those feelings, there are childhood, maybe from years ago, maybe a teenage version of yourself. It might be somebody else. Some part of you around to face your shadows. There. This moment, I invite for you. These versions of yourself that don't believe that you can move forward or whatever. I want you to be with them without trying to change them. Breathe it in. this point, I want you to ask this version of yourself, stop leaving one of your hands where because you have gotten to allow your heart to remain and acknowledging that any of the things that you're angry about or you're scared of or whatever that may be, right? Bringing in going to imagine now version of ourselves finally face it our left. Wherever you may see. Remember that your heart in and out the nose. If they're open to it, invite version yourself or hold your hand and your arms behind. When they're ready to in just raise your arms in. Acknowledge the parts that might be scared, but allow them to melt in. Knowing that you have to feed yourself by yourself if you are ready. In, out, down. Feel that support. Feel that merging till you realize that all of this is just you. All of this is you. You are. down movement, slowing down movements, noticing your heart here. Feeling your breath. Taking that in. Noticing your heartbeat. Coming back to your space. Coming back in. Coming back to center. If you're seated, if you are standing. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale everything past the heart, through the heart, down to the earth. And we're going to draw up the energy from the earth all the way to the heart space. And then out from the heart space, radiating it out in. Using the hands and wiggling the fingers. You need to take a moment before you come back into your space. Come back into opening your eyes. Please do. When you are ready, I invite you to please open, maybe even rub your hands together, create a little heat, and then just hold them over your eyes just so you can adjust. Maybe rub your eyes a little bit. Allow yourself to just wipe clean and come into presence. Come back. Hello. We made it. Wow, that was a journey. Nice. Jeffrey, how's it going over there? Just allowing yourself
Good.
to be
Good.
as you are. Amazing. I'm so glad to hear you. That was a little different. That was good.
I mean, the truth be told, got a lot of stuff in my room because we're moving things around, so couldn't really dance much.
Mm,
And also, I was okay with it because I was just like, I did take a nap during it, so it was kind of like I needed to rest. So it's kind
good.
of like hearing your voice, hearing the sounds. I was like, okay, I'm good. And I was like, and I realized I was wearing terminated quartz, so I was like, I was too grounded. I was like, oh no, 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 gotta switch it to sunstone and labradorite because like labradorite brings in that leadership and sunstone and labradorite brings in that calm like intuition and sunstones for that leadership and confidence. So I was kind of like, yeah, I just need that balance. That's all.
Mm, wow. Yeah. Hey, I mean, like that's the thing though, like we work with our spaces, no matter what. And I'm so glad that like, like you listened to your body and you got what you needed. That's what it's all about. We're just feeling the energy shift
Hmm.
and, visualizing. Like dance doesn't, like I've been really learning that like dance doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be literally like at a rate like doing like rave dance moves all the time or like really wiggling around and stuff. Like you can dance and be laying down, you can dance and be sitting and like, your energy can dance and that speaks volumes. So I'm really glad that you're here and that you made it today. And it's funny because like so many people um like wanted to pop in and then like for whatever reason like their video didn't work or something like that. So like everybody gets to like come in and watch the replay. So it's gonna be really interesting being in that
Hmm.
space. Um, but I get it. It's like, like all of us are working through different levels and capacities, and we're learning how to create that space of joy from exactly where we are, and that might be in a space that doesn't have a lot of room. Like even for me too, I was kind of like trying to stay in one general space, and it's funny, I remember in the pandemic, um one of the things that really saved my life was being able to dance. Because I would be in my tiny room, but the space felt so expansive because we are going into, that creative space. So, oh man. So here we are. We're in it. Oh man. So let's see. We went into archetype shadow. I'm just gonna Okay, so I wanted to ask, how for you did it feel to step into your full expression today? Like that includes like the shadow,
Um,
your full expression, or if there was like any specific sensations that you felt when you were integrating like the both of them.
um, for me, I just kind of was just like, once I kind of put on the labradorite and sunstone, I was kind of like, okay, I felt more calm, I felt more relaxed, I felt more like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, because like I said, like this was more today of like really consuming my energy,
Hmm.
and because like this weekend is going to be a really intense one. So
Yeah,
like, because I work with Palmajira, you know who that is? She's a Afro-Brazilian goddess.
amazing.
So like I've worked extensively with her, like
Mm-hmm.
with like I kind of allude to her, like she's kind of become helped me become that version of Sweet Jeffrey that I always wanted to be. Like she has helped me like be more like dance. Like I've been dancing at these parties. I've been being
Mm-hmm.
more creative, and also because she also taps into that feminine energy, she
Mm-hmm.
helps me understand the feminine energy a lot more, like women more, like being that masculine energy that holds its space for the feminine energy. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like, and she's like one of those like spiritual advisors, like because like through someone I know, and it's kind of one of those, hey, between us,
Mm-hmm.
Paul Majira called me Sweet Jeffrey, and I was like, that was the highest compliment. I was like, hey, yes,
Love that.
yes, yes, and yeah, she like basically, like she kind of helped me. Like she's the reason why, like that the because I brought that bad bitch oil for Genevieve,
Mm-hmm.
and like when like one of Sweet fucking Jeffrey's final moments
Mm-hmm.
was like giving the that bad bitch oil to all the Venus, May, Genevieve, everyone else at the Equinox party,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just going crazy. They were just like expressing themselves, and I was like, oh, that's why I like it. Like that's that
Yeah.
version of that's why I'm here. And
Mm-hmm.
also it also reflected a change because
Mm-hmm.
like I was wearing the red mask,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of turned off a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
like at first, like it wasn't like the Red Devil mask. It was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's mysterious, something's off about him. And
Right.
then after I took the sacrament, it's like the redness was gone, and I took off the red mask. But when I wore the pink devil mask, it was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was more welcoming, more like, oh, like even someone said like recently when I saw you with the the pink devil mask, it was like you were more welcoming, you were more
Mm-hmm.
like fun, and I was like, oh yeah, because like I brought out that energy, and also I think with this meditation, it just kind of helped me, process that it's gonna take time, and I have to rush things, and
Yes.
like to be slow and steady,
Mm-hmm.
because like
Mm-hmm.
it was like because for a while it was just like get rid of this, heal from this, and then over time, and then because like I was gonna ask like, hey, all right, I saw this reminder. What is the universe trying to tell me? And then I was like,
Mhm.
Jeffrey, you just had 8 straight weeks of going to these parties and having
Right.
fun. This is the first weekend when you're relaxing and having a good relaxing, just going to work and just coming home and just in your bed.
Hmm.
You'll figure this out
Um,
another time. So it's kind of one of those like just being there and just like, this was
mm,
like the first weekend like where I was just like I stayed mostly on Long Island
yep.
and I was content with it. Like I was like, hey, because like next weekend is gonna be an intense healing weekend. So I was like more like a calm before the storm. So I'm just like, all right,
Hmm.
let's just take this now because after this weekend,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna be the same. And
Right.
also, I'm also now in the era of just who I really am, like with the devil mask. And I'm not gonna always wear the devil mask, but I'm just gonna. But like every time, like it comes out, it comes out.
Hmm.
And it's also like who I am as a person. Like
Hmm.
the sweet side, but it's also like the side you don't want to see. So it's kind of
Right.
like a full version of myself. Because
Mm-hmm.
for years I leaned on to the sweet Jeffrey, like I'm sweet, I'm nice, I'm positive, false
Hmm.
positivity. And
Yeah.
then you realize through both the spiritual and the kink community that okay, like yeah, there's some sides of me that I need to work on. Like yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like both sides that I had to get better at. So like one side, like the sensation I was like I felt was like I'm at peace with where I am now, and it's like it was one of those things where it just got to a point where it's like recently it was just like Jeffrey, that what happened 20 years ago, what happened for the last 20 years, that's gone. Like it's
Hmm.
done. And I think also what I learned from the water signs, like I was trying to shut the book, like F
Mm.
that town, F whatever, like they're done.
Yes.
But then I said to myself, okay,
Hmm.
maybe don't close the book. If they want to build that bridge, build that bridge. If they want to,
Hmm.
you know, reconcile with all of that, cool, fine. But until
Mm.
then, I'm just going forward. Like, because
Amazing.
I had to get to a point in my life when I said,
Hmm.
wait a minute, why do I have to reconcile? Why
Right.
do I have to do all these things? I
And
tried to be that good guy, Hicksville guy. I tried to be that
you can't do
person, like,
that.
and it wasn't enough. It wasn't
Right.
enough. So it was like,
Right.
I'm done.
Yep.
I'm not doing this. And
Hmm.
like I'm one of those people, one of those things where it's like, hey, you know where to find me.
Hmm.
I'm not doing this.
That's
And
it.
I think
Yeah.
also like when I was sweet effing Jeffrey, I
Hmm.
even realized this today.
Hmm.
It was pretty much my younger version of me,
Hmm.
like the inner child, like teenage
Right.
Jeffrey, lashing out, like kind of like lashing out at the kink community
Mm.
because one part of the kink community reminded me of Hicksville. So it's kind of like
I
the
got
sweet,
that. Yeah.
because like there was like before Sweet Fuck Jeffrey came out, I did this cord cutting thing where I brought
Mhm.
a toy axe into a healing session.
Right.
And,
Oh, yeah. Could be
you know,
something
uh,
else.
yeah,
Right.
and I was just cutting the cords off anyone who kind of disrespected me,
Right.
and and
Uh,
then
oh.
Miss Sunshine, she was kind of Miss Sunshine, she kind of saw me, and
Hmm.
everyone was kind of thinking, wait, is that real? Because mind you, it was a realistically looking toy axe, so
Yes,
I
it's a
guess
whole
I
thing.
I guess I guess it did its job. But then
Hmm.
Miss Sunshine, she took the axe away from me, and she was like, "Oh, okay." She took the
Yep.
axe away from me, and she allowed me to say, "All right, this is a better way."
Ah,
And
I like
when
that.
when she took the axe away, it was like
Hmm.
that's all I need. I just
Beautiful.
needed someone to say, "Okay,
Yep.
he's
Yep.
upset, he's angry, take it away from him, to
Mhm.
redirect him somewhere else," which allowed
Exactly.
me to become which allowed me to become Sweet Funky Jeffrey, where
Yeah.
like I was wearing that red mask and I was
Mhm.
just dancing
Yep.
and just
And
having
also,
fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
also
you were saying?
Jeffrey too. I just want to reel us in, kind of
Yeah,
get us
sorry.
back into the focus. I really appreciate your expression so much, and I'm so happy to like continue the conversation. Um,
Okay, sorry about
but
that.
also just
Yeah.
to reel it in, for you and for anybody else that might watch this later too, what is one word that you feel connected to your heart, right? Um, after moving, after doing this kind of practice? Was one
Uh,
word, just a real
um, Closure.
closure. Wow, that's beautiful. That goes so well with the ten of swords. Because I was feeling something like
Mhm.
that as well, is I got completion.
Yeah.
And some other people might get something similar. I mean, it makes sense. It's towards the end of the year and everything, and we're all integrating a lot of our experiences, and especially like you were saying too, right? Where um you've gone through a lot of different healing journeys with all of these different parts of yourself and different people, different healers, who were able to like redirect you and help you actually like be able to like transmute, right? Um, and try out different versions of yourself. And I think that's a really beautiful, incredible part of the journey, right? Because we're learning about all of ourselves, right? We're learning about how creative we can be in our anger, how creative we can be in our heart space, how we can um, learn different tools, and then also have other people teach us the tools that might actually resonate better for the person that we're becoming. And I really appreciate you being here and just showing up the way that you do, so vulnerable and open-hearted. And I just wanted to really thank you so much and to say thank you to everyone who comes in and joins this in the replay. Um, and I would also love, like, I think I also shared a word already. Yeah, completion, which is funny because I'm like, all right, it's hit 9 o'clock. I want to honor everybody's time. I guess what I would love to open up is just share some reminders to everybody before we close out. And I'll have some space for anything else that comes up that you would like to share. But I have some reminders that I am building an app. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have like a lot of things that are kind of like this um sort of space come up on there, and I'm really excited for that because it's like we can have like little like quick meditations and stuff. Little like writing prompts, things that can get us out of our daily grind and get us back into our creative body. There's that. And then super excited about this part because I'm actually doing a 6-week program for creatives, starting in, it's actually the beginning of February. I'm gonna be just looking for like 3 people to sign up, um, but just as like a beta test version. So this one's gonna be like a huge discount, like compared to like what, like the full run is gonna be. And it's gonna be really exciting because I'm gonna be doing a couple of different, it's gonna start with a dream reflection session, but then it'll like include a bunch of different other practices that lead um everyone up to actually directing their own dream reflection session at the end. And we get to like work together with your own creativity to like really um go from a space of like finding out what's going on to then like going full creator mode. And it'll be really fun because it's like, okay, like I'm like rediscovering my own creativity in one way or another, where it's really good for people who have like, okay, I have like a huge creative block right now, like what's going on? So it's a baby creation that's happening. But other than that, um I just really want to say thank you, like from the bottom of my heart, for being here, for being open. And just take that nice breath and breathe it in. And yeah, I'm just gonna open up the space just for about, 5 minutes or so, just to close everything out. You know, so Jeffrey, if you have anything else that you would like to share, or if you have any questions about anything, this is the open space. I'm actually gonna stop the recording now, so that way, it's just totally like, free space to roam. So